Start recording. We should be live. Hello? Can you hear us? Do we have people? Probably don't have people because I literally just hit the button, but hello? Oh yeah, I need to post announcements. Posting this. Posting the other one. Where's the other one? There we go. Oh, we gotta check the focus out there. Hello. Then we got this one and one more. Post. Come on. There we go. Yay, big congratulations. Hello. The wheel, the congratulations, the Wewowens. It's the Wewowens. Hello. Welcome to Wewowens. I'm Wooxers and this is Wyra.
Wywo.
Hello. Oh my god. There's Cutie on the cute stream. Cute. Also, it's probably not gonna make sense to anyone else, but hold on. Things are in motion. Hello everyone. Hello Amelia. Hello Baplar, Nuki, Colin, Urgot, Iki Korobos. Hello. Charsmer. Hello. Baplar, hello. Welcome. Welcome. I couldn't. I was like, should we do like a whole stream like this, but I couldn't do it. Welcome to Wewowens with Froox and Sawa. I can't do this. I can't do this kind of.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I can't speak Uwu the entire stream.
No. Anyway, welcome to Resonance. I'm Froox with Sarah. We're here to answer any questions you might have about Resonite, like other stuff, like, you know, whether it wants to be technical stuff, philosophy of the platform, the past, future, whatever. If you want to ask us personal things, feel free as well. If you want to get us know more, just kind of like, you know, here to chat, answer questions. Make sure if you ask questions, put a question mark, that way it kind of pops on our Twitch thing over here. That way, like, you know, like we don't miss it. Thank you, Ghost, for a subscription, which also reminds me I need to put this thing here so we can get sprayed with confetti in case there's more of these. I'm gonna just make this gone and this gone, and I'm just gonna shove this in this TV and hopefully the TV will spray confetti. So yeah, welcome. Make sure to put a question mark, the way it kind of pops on our thing. We also have a few questions from Discord. They're in advance questions. We're gonna go through those first. So let's get started. I think that's kind of everything-ish.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move the camera. Oh, I have the interpolation off. Oh, it's from Blood on Clock Tower. There we go. So should be ready to start answering questions. And this is the one I asked Colin to ask next time because I wasn't fully prepared for it last time, but now I'm prepared because I processed photos. So Colin is asking about the New Year's fireworks, and me and Sarah went to like a IRL event for like New Year's, and I took some cool photos I wanted to share, and I just kind of processed them yesterday. So I'm just gonna, you know, while we're still like waiting for people and for questions, I'm gonna share some of my photos. Let's see, where is it? So, we didn't go like anywhere like, you know, big for the photos. So it was kind of like, you know, just kind of like in the neighborhood where people were like shooting fireworks, and I like went to the patio and like I really quickly took like a bunch of photos. And what's cool about it is the camera, it focused on the branches like in front, and it like looking super cool. Like, look at that. So like how the branches are there, like, and you see like how there's different like colors glowing behind. I've got another one. I like this one. This has like, you know, really nice colors to it. I love like color gradients. It's like one of my favorite things, like in visuals, like in photos or whatever. Oh my god! Thank you guys for the raid. Not the raid. The subscription gift. Thank you. Where's one? I've got to wait. I showed this one, I think. Let's see. I love like some of these like very like atmospheric looking. Like this one's like very like red and it's kind of glowing. You can kind of see like outlines of things. I've got another one that's also like this one's very like green. I'm not gonna show like all of them, but like some of my like favorites. This kind of like it feels like almost surreal, like some things from like Fairy Tale. Thank you, Jake. We got more subscription gifts. Oh, this one was kind of neat. I love like how like it focuses on the branches in front and like the fireworks just become like a bokeh, like glowing lights, and it's like I just love how it looks. I've got another one that's like it's a little bit more like defined. You can kind of see the tree outline still, which I can really like because it kind of like gives it more of a depth. Like there's like more kind of it's like a subject in the scene. I'm gonna one this one for example. This one's like more of the trees because it's just kind of exploding. You can see like the play with light. So yeah, there's a bunch of like really cool. So a bunch of cool fireworks, and I got like some photos I'm like really happy with. Then I get to share them now. Let's see if we got any more. I've got a bunch more, but I don't want to like spend too much time showing these off. But a few ones. This one has like some nice lights. I love very cool one. So yeah, the IRL infinite FPS fireworks were really cool, and there's like a really cool lighting and volumetric effects that like they're much harder to get in VR. But I hope like we can one day, so we can like take virtual photos like this. But yeah, the fireworks like were pretty cool. Thank you
They're
for
really-
bringing the question again.
Some of them were a little loud.
Yeah, they're loud. Pretty. Actually, it's kind of funny thing because like the loudest ones are not pretty ones because it just makes sound.
Yeah.
I like the pretty ones. So yeah, that's been the fireworks. Let's go to the next question. We've got a question. I'm actually gonna duplicate it so I can also read it. We've got a question from Mintshock. Mintshock is asking, how are textures? They are not power of 2 handled. Well, they are the size to the next biggest power of for VRM. When one has texture that is 50 by 50, for example, should one add transparency around the edges to get to 64, or just leave it for Froox engine to deal with? So GPUs pretty much like for a really long time now, they just support non-power of 2 textures. The power of 2 texture limitation, that's like something that's very old at this point, so generally it's not something you need to really worry about. We can like as long as the texture is within the size limit, like the GPU can handle non-power of 2. Usually there's not really too much of a downside to it either. In a lot of cases also even like better because like sometimes routing up to the nearest power of 2 can actually waste a lot of data and like you waste a lot of VRM, so it's necessarily like the best thing to do. There's a few caveats. One of them is most textures that you upload like to Resonite, and pretty much like this kind of works with other games too. Most textures they will get compressed with like something called like block compression algorithms. And what these algorithms do, they sort of take blocks. For the ones that Resonite uses, it's typically 4x4 blocks of pixels. So like it's a group of 16 pixels. It compresses them so they kind of use less storage while preserving most of the detail. And those compression algorithms, they save like 4 to 8 times the amount of VRAM. So like that's generally a good thing to do. The only limitation there is because the textures because the textures it's compressed in blocks of 4 on each side, the size needs to be a multiple of 4. If it isn't, Resonite will handle it for you. Like it's kind of it'll see like this is it'll sort of just rescale it a little bit, but it might have some quality loss. So at very least, what I would recommend is make your texture be multiple of 4, even when it's compressed. If you're doing stuff like icons, for example, like you're saying, like 50 by 50, it might be worth like just leaving it uncompressed. It's gonna be a small amount of data, so you might leave it uncompressed. At which point it's just gonna be 50 by 50 in VRM. Also, I would probably recommend like still using compression for icons, and if it's like really small, I wouldn't add transparent edges. I would just like make sure the image is like 64 by 64, assuming you're not doing like like pixel art. If you're like exporting like vector graphics into an icon, export just 64 by 64. Like you don't get like any sort of weird scaling things with that. Like if you have compression active, because even compression 64 by 64 is gonna take less VRM than 50 by 50 uncompressed. So like even though it's like a little more pixels, you get a little more detail, you're probably actually gonna come out on top with that. But yeah, generally you can leave things for Froox Engine to deal with. There just might be some slight loss in like quality due like to scaling things. But like pretty much all of that is like doesn't really have anything to do with power of 2. It just has to do with multiples of 4, because that's how the compression works. It works on a group of 4x4 pixels, and it cannot do like half a block. Yeah, that kind of covers it, I think. Next question from Discord.
I think the one at the bottom is supposed to come first.
Oh, I see. You're gonna shuffle them. Let's do. Wait. Oh, okay. So next question is from OZ. I'm also gonna put this here so I can read it easily. OZ's asking, recently you've been doing work on Resonite with reflection and a way to get components and other such details. Well, of course, I know this doesn't mean big component access. Does it help pave the way for it in some regards? No, it doesn't. It's like a different mechanism. It's sort of like a way to access the components externally, but it doesn't really contribute for in-game like component access. Like pretty much like it works because the Resonite has internal APIs for accessing components. That's like how a lot of behaviors work. It's mostly about exposing those to different systems. What Resonite Link specifically does is like it just uses those mechanisms. It's just built on those general mechanisms for accessing components, so we can provide access that way. For exposing it in game, there's like is like whole separate kind of system that's going to interface with that API. So the API is already there. The main question for like the main task for like exposing in game, there's really multiple things. Like one, we do need support for collections because of NAMSLN access things on a slot. There's a collection of things, so we need collection support so we can actually work with a collection. The other one is going to be some sort of like dynamic binding where you can like access like properties and sort of designing how that's how exactly it's gonna work. So like that, and it's kind of its own task. So in short, like short answer is no, it doesn't pave the way for it. Long answer is pretty much what I said. And we've got like a related question. I was asking semi-related to previous question. But how much does Resonite integration affect Froox Engine itself when it comes to messing with its internals? Again, like it kind of doesn't super much because like it uses the APIs that are like internally already used for pretty much everything. Like whenever Froox Engine, like when you open Inspector, that's also using those internal APIs to figure out like what fields are on things, what like components are on thing, what values sort of interface with that. The components themselves, like when they operate on the data model, they use those APIs. When you save a world, like that uses the APIs. Resonite Link is just another thing that uses those APIs. So it doesn't like doesn't affect it like really that much. It's also like one of the things that makes it like easier to implement because we already have like those mechanisms in place, and it's just gluing them to like to JSON. And the last question from Discord, we've got from Goldie Raccoony. They are asking, what are dictionaries and how can we interact with them in game? So dictionaries, it's like one of the data structures where you're essentially storing values, like or whatever, you're storing whatever data under a key. And a key can be like, piece of data, like for example, like a string or a number. In some cases, it can be like more structured, but like you'll have those. So what it's really useful for is, if you consider like collections, like like a list on array. Usually it's just like a list, an array of things. You access them by the index. So for example, say I want item at like, index 0 or index 5 or index 100. And it's like really good, like if you've got like, sort of like list of things where you can, like you can access them through that pattern efficiently. You know at which index you're going to be accessing things. But in some cases, like you're going to have like, the data you're going to be storing is going to be more sparse. You're not going to have like values at every single thing. Maybe like there's like a piece of string, like a name of something. So for example, consider like, a mesh for an avatar. The mesh for an avatar is going to have, blend shapes. You can have like, system where like, the blend shapes are just an array. And the problem with that is like, say you want to find which blend shape, like you want to find, for example, smile blend shape. And you know it by its name, you don't know at what index it is. So what the system needs to do is it needs to now go one by one and check, is the blend shape at index 0, is it named smile? No. Next one. Is this one named smile? No. Next one. And it just kind of scans through the thing, which means on average you need to like scan, good chunk of the list. And it's going to be slow because you need to check so many elements. So to make these kinds of accesses more efficient, you use use dictionary, where you can actually store, the blend shape under with a piece of string that's the name as the key. And what it does kind of internally, it sort of like hashes it. It sort of computes like a special kind of index, and then it puts it like into like a bucket. And when you access it, like you give it a key, you give it a key smile, and it like it'll do whatever, like internal mechanics. You should some sort of hashing, and it'll look at the bucket, and then it will check like, is this the item, and it gives you the item, and it can skip like checking every single like element like you have in the collection. So it makes accesses like this very, very efficient. Right now, for interacting with them in game, you can't do it super directly. There's like a bunch of systems that use them internally. For some very specific ones, like there's like a method you can call with Protoflux. I think it's just for the local keys, but it's kind of jank, and it's not general. Eventually, we want to expand inspectors, so inspectors can also show you the dictionaries. You can actually no, you cannot access them through a Resonite link yet either. This still needs to be exposed. So yeah, like there's not too many ways to access them in game right now, but there's gonna be in the future. They're also probably gonna become like more common, but they're actually not as common like for exposed data right now. So this covers the questions from Discord. We got a few questions already piled up from Blue Sky. Not Blue Sky. Sorry, from the Twitch chat. So let's see, what time is it? We're gonna go through a few questions. I do want to like at one point, I'm gonna try again like showcase some of the social stuff, like from like Blue Sky, show some posts, some cool stuff that people have been working on. We might do it like at a full hour, so like in like 12 minutes. But let's go through a few more questions first. Keep asking pet each other. Sarah doesn't have hands right now.
I don't have hands.
Nakikun's also asking, so why does Syro never appear here in VR? I don't know if you want to answer that.
Well, I mean, partially because, getting in VR is kind of like, I need like a solid, like, pre-planned commitment of time to be in VR. Otherwise, I'm just sitting there, like, twiddling my hands, kind of wishing I could do like all my like stuff with the keyboard and mouse. Because like I program a lot. Like I've been like I do it in my free time as well. So I can't really do that in VR super well. I mean, I can like in Resonite, but like I can't. I'm not gonna sit at my computer and code with a headset on. You know, that's just kind of uncomfortable. The other part is that I just not been feeling good lately. Uh, lots of stress in my life right now. So that's kind of just like the lowdown of it, I guess.
The next question is kind of the same. Also, I have no idea what is this dark Froox theory
Whatever.
confirmed. I have no idea.
Sorry, pal.
Next one. We've got a question from computer user. Do you know if a model that only uses vertex colors would have better performance than a model that uses a texture? This is assuming the texture isn't stupidly large. I would acknowledge that this would 100% be micro-optimization that probably wouldn't be noticeable in normal gameplay. So I would say this depends on a bunch of different stuff. Like it's so if you don't use a texture, immediately the first thing you probably save is VRAM. Because the texture is going to use a certain amount of VRAM, but the question is, how dense is your model? If like, for example, for 3D scans, you can have models that have like literally like 1-2 million triangles. And if you use vertex colors to color that, you might, the extra VRM for the vertex colors can actually exceed what the texture would use, so like you wouldn't really save there. In terms of like rendering the model, like the GPU performance, I don't think it would like be noticeable. Like you can free like a texture sampler, but texture sampling is really fast on the GPU, so I don't think like in most scenarios like you would really have like much of a noticeable change. But again, it also depends what hardware you're running, so it's like it's one of those things where it's like depends. I think like the VRAM part would probably like the biggest one. Like you do have like the benefit of like if you can go with like vertex vertex colors, like it's like it's probably gonna be like a little bit faster on the GPU because it can avoid that like memory fetch. But also like I think it's gonna be like in most cases it's gonna be like so small like you would be kind of hard pressed to find like real world scenarios where that makes like a huge of a difference. Maybe if you were like like really pushing the GPU like a certain way, you were like constrained a lot of like memory bandwidth, maybe like it could like kind of come on top. But like I feel like to really have like much of a difference in that case, like you would need to be like more of an edge case, like like let's say like you build your entire world like out of certain just for example, so from like vertex colors versus like using texturing for everything. The VRM would probably be the biggest saving, and that depends. Like the density of the model needs to be, it definitely needs to be like smaller than how much data we'd actually have in the texture. So if you had like a really dense mesh with vertex colors to get a lot of like color detail, it's possible you might not say like really you might like end up using more VRM for the additional data for the mesh stream than if you just use the texture. If it's like lower density, like then and you take like the benefit from the GPU sort of interpolating the colors between between the vertices, then you could probably like save a bunch of VRM. It's also like one of those things where I would say like benchmark it, like see like make like a stress test like with both scenarios and see like what performs better. It's always like a little bit kind of like tricky like reasoning about performance, because sometimes like the hardware might like because the hardware has like GPUs, they have like multiple levels of caches and like lots of optimizations, and like they have like various latency hiding mechanisms like which sort of abstract you away from some of the like memory bandwidth, like so like it might not really make much of a difference, but best way is to measure it. to see how it like actually behaves. So Ponte S Pizza is asking, ask anything about the Resonite. Yes, you can ask anything about the Resonite. Some questions we might direct you to other office hours. For example, if you ask, stuff about moderation, we'll try to give you our take, but we're not like, I'm not like the head of moderation, so we might redirect you to that to give a like more detailed answer. But feel free to ask anything. Worst case, like we'll give you like the best answer we can, and then maybe direct you to a better place to get like more details. And next question is from Resonite PL. They're asking, I want to host events for Polish community. Is there a specific process to get them featured on? And this actually, for some reason, it censors it. I think this might be censored on the chat itself. You might need to.
Usually when
you
it's
might
like
need to
triple
like kind of like.
asterisks.
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
just triple asterisk, so I don't know what you actually said. You might need to post it again. Try like put spaces between the name of the thing, maybe, or maybe like a link. It doesn't like links.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Amidafil's asking Dagadu. Sarah, how do you feel about Dagadu?
I'm tired, boss.
I'm gonna give Sarah PTSD from the Dagadu one. Some people also asking, are there any plans for MetaQuest version of the game? We get this one asked like quite a bit. I do recommend. We should have a clip for it on our YouTube channel. So if you go to like the Resonite YouTube channel and check the clips, I think there's like a pretty long like answer in one of them. The short of it is like eventually yes. We've done like some like optimizations, like like doing the engine split and so on. But we definitely in order to be able to run natively on MetaQuest, there's still like a fair bit of engine work, especially like getting our architecture to work on it, which might be tricky with like Unity, because we kind of run into a bunch of issues. So it might be a thing that happens after we switch to a new rendering engine, to kind of get around some of the performance issues. The .NET 10 will definitely helps. But even with that, I'm pretty sure like we will need some system for content segregation. Because problem with like mobile platforms like MetaQuest running natively on it is they have way less resources than your PC has. And they also don't have as good safety nets, because on PC, for example, if you use a lot of memory, it goes, to virtual memory, it goes to swap file. On mobile headsets, if you use too much memory, it'll crash. So like you just kind of like instantly die. And we've had like some versions of like Froox engine running on Android before, but it's kind of what we run into. In particular because like the entire engine was running inside of Unity, and Unity has a really bad garbage collector, which suffered from memory fragmentation, and would actually end up like increasing memory use, even though it had enough memory free, but the memory was very scattered, so it couldn't allocate like a full block, so we have to keep allocating more and more memory until it crashed. With .NET 10, it has like much better garbage collector. It's like a compacting one, so like it sort of cleans up those holes. But even then, even with the best optimizations, the mobile hardware, it just doesn't have enough memory, and it doesn't have like enough CPU and GPU performance to handle the same stuff your PC can. So if your PC can like render a world with like say 2 million triangles, fine. There might be a challenge for mobile GPU, and the only optimization you can do there is have less triangles and have less complex models, have less detailed textures. So having some way to kind of be like this content's optimized for mobile, it kind of fits within smaller performance budget. That's going to be really important for supporting those kind of platforms. Charismare is asking, what is the best place to see the future plans of Resonite? Well, this is one of them. We can ask, and we like talking about it. You can look, depends kind of like, how far you want to go into the future, because we generally, the way we kind of prioritize things, we don't prioritize too far ahead because we kind of want to make the decisions kind of more on the fly. What's like the most important thing to be focusing on right now, and it's kind of how we sort of approach things. To give more like flexibility there, but you can also check out our GitHub. On our GitHub, there's a lot of GitHub issues and some things things we wanna be like working on at some point in the future. And we also have the project maps where you can find more kind of breakdown. Like for example, for performance optimizations, these are the things like we want to be working on. These things have been worked on. These things have been done. There's similar things for particle systems. For example, you had like a board for the photon dust, so you can kind of like watch how things are kind of going there. But in general, yeah, like the usually like once we kind of like have something like big, like we sort of like announce it. But usually like when we announce things, like we already kind of like starting to work on them. And from kind of like more like long-term plans, like the Resonance is actually a good one. You can check the YouTube channel as well. There's like Resonance clips, which talk about various like future plans. Like we, for example, have a clip on what we want to do with the desktop mode. We have clips for what we want to do with the domain system, so you can build much bigger worlds and more complex sessions. There's video like on stuff like the terrain system. So there's a lot of different places depending like what you kind of prefer and like what exactly like you want to see. So I hope this kind of helped. And you can always ask to when it comes like to the first hours. Oh, one more I'm gonna mention the devlog. The devlog's kind of also kind of more immediate because there's usually things kind of that been worked on, but it's kind of good to check if you want to see it. Like this is kind of what we're working on. This is how we kind of progressing on things. Next question is from Nukikun. So will we be able to use dictionaries for string compression at some point? I've been always wanting to do that.
That is
no.
not entirely unrelated to the use case of those whatsoever.
Yeah, it's like dictionaries don't really do any compression themselves. You can use them like they are like used within compression algorithms, but by themselves dictionaries don't do any compression. So once, like for example with Protoflex collections, if you like when you're able to use dictionaries, you can use them to implement compression algorithms to store your data, but by themselves they don't provide compression.
Yeah, they're a building block like an array or a list or just another type of collection.
Yeah. Resonite is also asking, is there any chance we'll see a new rendering engine this year? I would say the chance is like above 0, but like it depends on a lot of things. And right now it's like I feel a little bit too early to say. I would definitely love that like to happen, but right now we kind of need to like finalize the first phase, which is like complying the requirements, and move on to the second phase where we'll start like looking at potential candidates for the renderer. Once that kind of happens, like it's gonna depend what do we find, how compatible the renders are, and we kind of hope like we get a bunch of like help from a community for that too, to sort of like evaluate different choices. That one might like be quicker than the first phase, because the first phase like we want to have like a really good list. The second phase is mostly just kind of being like, okay, this render exists, this is what it has, this is what it doesn't have, documenting that. So depending how fast it goes, and then there's going to be the third phase, which is going to be bringing up the render up to the speed. So anything the render doesn't have that we need will need to be implemented, and that's probably the biggest unknown, because right now we don't even know which render we go with, so and we don't know like what it has and what it doesn't have, so it's kind of hard to estimate how long will it take to like bring it up to speed. And then like once it has everything, there's also the final phase where it's actually implementing the new render, and also kind of variable because it's going to depend on a lot of things. It depends how what's the architecture of the render, how's it structured, how quick is to integrate certain things. So I think it's possible, but no promises at this point. And one thing I'm gonna say, if you want to make it more likely it's gonna happen this year, please help us with the process. We do have like the discussion where it's kind of like on our GitHub where it's sort of covering the different phases, and we still currently have the phase 1 open. So if you have time, like if you and you have the will, give it a read, check like what people is suggesting, check if there's things like you feel is missing, anything that should be added to the list. Just like even if you were like read it before, giving it another read again, that can help because maybe like there were some things missed. So that can kind of help, and we can kind of close up the first phase. Because there's another thing we had like people ask in Resonance about certain things for render, and pretty much like the response was like, yeah, that's actually a good thing to bring into discussion, but then I haven't seen people actually bring it to the discussion. So right now my concern is like people aren't really engaging with it as much, which makes me less like confident in closing the first phase. So seeing people like engage with it, like like post things and discuss them out, I feel that like was gonna like give more confidence closing that first phase and moving to the next one. Nikin's asking, showcase stuff we post on Fediverse too, please. At some point we will. We'll need to like get like some kind of integrations for there because right now I'm not like set up for those, but I would like to expand it to Fediverse as well. Oh, we also, speaking of, we're after the full hour. We've got a bunch of questions there. So we should showcase. So hopefully this works. I think I fixed the YouTube DL because I had like some issues last time. I do want to showcase some community stuff. So right now I'm doing Blue Sky. So I just kind of search anything that's tagged with the hashtag Resonite. Let's see if this works. It's one of the things I do want to like do the like quick integration. And I do latest, and latest is my post about this thing. So there's actually a stream it's been like 3 hours ago from Cynic. Let me make sure I can take screenshots. Actually, I feel this might. Well, I'm gonna keep it with a bend. Like I could make my dash flat. But we've got a post from Cynic at 12:54. It looks like they're working on JSON parser and have been like streaming about it. It's been 3 hours ago. I don't know if they're still streaming, but if you want to check them out, there's the link. If they're still streaming after we finish Resonance, we might give them a raid. We like raiding people. Ooh, there's another one. Let me see if I can open this up. This one I should be able to bring in because this is like linked to YouTube, and I already like watched this one. It's pretty cool. So this is a post from Replic, the Chigon, and he made a video tutorial on how to make a door. It's called "A Noob Explains Open and Closed Door with Protoflex." I'm gonna bring the video as well. I'm gonna show you a little bit of it, but like I recommend, like if you're like interested in programming Protoflex, I recommend watching it because I like how this was kind of produced. It has like sort of like dual kind of camera setup, like where you can see the inspector.
Well, looks like you have to watch it without me. I think I'm getting Linuxed again.
It is loaded on my end, so that's the important part because I'm doing the streaming. So I'm gonna play it.
Well, hello. So, you see these doors open, right? But how do they work? It's actually pretty easy in Resonite. So let a noob explain it to you. Here we go. Alright, so let's start. In order to make this work, we need two tools. We need the Dev tool and we need the Flux tool, which you can find in your inventory Resonite Essentials tools.
Look, they've added like the things.
Then we also have a special guest, which is this door that you can see there. We're going to use this one and rotate its z-axis if there's something in the way.
I'm going to move it along a little bit because I want to show you like some of the process. There's a pretty long video, so like we're going to watch the whole thing. So but you can kind of, I really like how they've like made like where you can see both him and you can see like the inspector, so it's like easier to follow.
All the time. We don't need this anymore, so this can go away. I'm
So
sorry,
this is a really
you're
cool
done.
video and pretty well produced. So I definitely give it a watch if you're interested in learning protoflags. Here it is again. Or just search for Noobs Explains open and closed door with protoflags. So it's another cool thing. Another one, let's see if this one loads. This is embedded, so hopefully this works. Let's see if this loads. I'm also gonna take a... Ooh, it's loading. Yay.
Mind if I take a quick bathroom break while you're watching this?
Yes.
You do mind? Okay.
Oh no, no, go, bathroom. So this is post from Mintshock. They made like a 9-slice pane. Let's play this. It seems like, you know, they can...
I made a 9-slicing mesh. We can like stretch this in like any direction. You can change the border thickness and stuff. And this like works fairly well. Like you can change the size of this without having the texture stretch. It's like basically the same thing that like what like normal UX uses, so that these corners stay the same size and don't stretch. And I needed this as a mesh, so like I made
It's pretty cool.
9 planes.
I love like
Blender with,
procedural like
proper
mesh
UVs
stuff. Like it's so fun like when you change
and,
the properties and
order,
like see it change in real time.
which makes it fairly easy to like
It's always like
It's
very
just a bit of
satisfying
flux.
to mess with like that.
and like change the size of like the borders, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with this, and I think this might fix the issue I have with like the shadow behind my UI being like wedged and stuff and not fitting around the corners properly. And this should work.
So if you're like interested in this, give this a watch. This is the post. So I'm gonna repost this one. Let's see, what do we have next? I'm just kind of going through things. We've got some more like streams. There's this one in Japanese. I don't know what this means, unfortunately. Ooh, there's another one. This is gonna be a really funny one. It's from Rail to Protogen. It's making pretty cool Resonite videos, like very kind of high energy, goober kind of stuff. So let's see what happens. It says, Idiot Protogen gets zipped, broadcasted live on Twitch.
I'm so small! God damn it! Stop! Ah! 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 Ah!
Oh my god. I thought it was a meta meme for a second that the video player was shaking, but it can be because you just imported it. Yeah, you can shrink in Resonite, you can get zapped and you can make like, you know, all kinds of goofy stuff. This is definitely very Resonite kind of energy stuff. And this is the post. If you wanna share, follow, I'm gonna hit follow because I'm not following them, and I'm gonna repost this one. I'm also looking for more things. Let's see. Ooh, we got one from Resomyao. I've seen some of their things, but I don't think I've actually showed any of them yet, so let me bring this one up. So I'm gonna paste this one in.
Return.
So it looks like they're doing their own showcases of like Resonite stuff. They're showcasing the Unipocket. We probably want to watch the whole thing because it's 3 minutes, but let's give it a little bit of a watch.
This video goes out to my fellow VR creators out there. Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to record a video and you needed a very specific tool or prop and you just can't find a world that has it or an avatar that has it? This channel is about Resonite, and in here we can share items with our inventories. My last few videos have shown that pretty well, I think. But
Oh, it's kind of
what
funny. They're
if
doing a
you
showcase and we're
don't
doing
have the
showcase of
item
their
that you want
showcase.
already, and maybe your friends don't know
Thank you
about
for
said
the
item as
raid.
well? How do you find items in Resonite? Well, there's about 2 main ways to go about it, and today I want to talk to you about one, and that's called Unipocket. Unipocket is a community-made item search and sharing tool that allows you to look for any submitted items within the game with no mods required. To use Unipocket, all you need is the launcher in front of you to open up a brand new window, and then using that, you can start spawning items in front of you. Most of Unipocket can actually be used with no account whatsoever. However, if you want to submit your own items or add
This is like a
comments
meta
to items, you
showcase.
will need to authenticate, but it uses your existing Resonite account, so no extra account is needed. Some other tools available here is that you can of course use the search bar, but there's also tags that might filter down further
Unipocket
and
is
help you
also like
find
very
items that you're
impressive. It's
looking
like one
for.
of those like
On
things
top of that,
from
we do have a timeline that just shows
Japanese
chronologically
community.
what has been uploaded recently, or even my recent comment here as well. And of course, here is your page if you want to upload items. I don't have any myself yet. I do want to start uploading as soon as I'm cool enough. Now, what kind of items can you find in Unipocket? A good amount of them are 3D scanned objects. The Japanese community does
3D
love
scan.
to 3D scan their foods, and some of them eat very fancy. So if
Oh,
you
I
needed
can
something
confirm.
like some bowls of ramen for a skit, here we go. I can spawn quite a couple and set them up on the table for everyone to enjoy. If for whatever reason this boombox interested you right here, you can
Like
spawn a boombox and do whatever it is that you wanted to do with it. There are more items that can be used here that are not necessarily that
We're gonna
small.
watch the whole
such as
thing. We've already kind of watched it quite a bit. We've watched like 2 minutes of it. If you want to watch the whole thing, check out the post. This is by... Ooh, it's backwards. This is by Resonite. So definitely get them watched. It seems like they've been doing a bunch of kind of cool showcases. So I think their not channel, their account is like worth following. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? Oh, of course, another one that's very important. This is probably a very important post and a very important PSA. It's actually the reason why we're in this world. MMC is coming, so Creator Jam posted about the upcoming MMC that's gonna be taking this February. They're currently taking still like sponsorships. So if you wanna like help out, I think they've collected like $19,000 so far from the community and from other sponsors. Half of that goes into the prize pool. The other one goes like to operation of the event. It's gonna be starting actually a week from now, because next Sunday is gonna be the 1st. So it's like when MMC starts, check out this post. Like it's like probably the coolest event that happens on Resonite every year. It's a month-long competition. You can create like things in a number of different categories, and you can win prizes. You will get badges if you sponsor the event. Like I think the minimum is like $10 or something like that. If you throw some money at them, like you also get a cool badge as well. So please check it out if you haven't heard of it. It's a lot of fun. It's also like a cool way for people to learn like how to build in Resonite, how to work with themes. A lot of the times, like people like form like new friendships. They develop new abilities, new skills, and make some of the coolest content on this platform. So definitely worth checking out. Even if you're just like an observer. Like you can sponsor the event, like you don't have to like build for it, or you can do both. You can sponsor and build, or you can just build. So, or you can just kind of watch the cool stuff that people are making. So, check it out. Read the announcement. Like it's probably like it's gonna be a lot of like fun time, and I'm very excited like seeing like all the stuff that people make like every year. I pretty much always like make it like my thing to go through every single entry, even though it takes like a lot, and I record the whole thing so you can watch me like going through the entries. Very, very excited for this. Let's see what's next. Ooh, next one. This is another cool one. We probably might like skip around a little bit because part of it is like technical. And this is a post from Check the Fox author. Let me bring the video first. I'm also gonna take a screenshot. Wait, did I not repost this one? Oh, I did quote repost. So let's actually show this first. So Jack the Fox author has been working on a Python wrapper for Resonite Link. So for those of you who don't know, Resonite Link is a new API that lets you work with Resonite data model that essentially describes the whole world. It lets you, oh my god, thank you, 1v. It lets you work with it like externally from like external applications, and the idea is the community you get more control over what you can do with Resonite. You can build tools using external programs, external languages, and Jack has made a Python wrapper which lets you if you like Python, you can do Resonite stuff with Python now, and I'm gonna showcase this video.
I want to show what I've been working on. So you can actually see here that I've written a bit of a Python script using the new library that I'm currently working on. It first creates a WebSocket client that connects to Resonite Link. Then when the client is started, what we do is we create a new slot, we call it Hello World slot. Then we add a text renderer to that slot with the text Hello World, and then it just continuously updates the text in that component. Then, of course, it just takes the current port.
I'm gonna skip around a little bit because this is like very technical. I recommend watching the whole one, but there's like a showcase. So Check is like using the Python script to actually animate text in Resonite.
It's pretty simple to use. It is incredibly powerful because this will allow pretty much any sort of integration with external software that you can think of that manipulates the world, imports textures, imports audios, imports meshes. So like in Blender, one thing I want to do later on is like you just link up the Resonite session and you instantly export your models and your textures from Blender into Resonite without any intermediate file exchange. It just model is changed, whoop, in real time update in Resonite. And that's gonna be super cool. But yeah, we have to start somewhere, have to start small. So for now, we have Hello World. And that's about it. Thank you for watching.
I'm very excited for this one. And there's one of the also like things I'm kind of excited with, like, with Resonite Link and with Python wrapper in particular. There's a lot of academic uses of Python. It's used like in research, it's used like there's a lot of like image analysis and like other stuff. With the Python wrapper, we can pipe data into Resonite, and there's already been some people in that thread who are educators who are looking into applications to bring their visualizations. They use stuff like the Jupyter notebooks, where you could control Resonite stuff and use Resonite for visualizations from your Jupyter notebook. I think that opens so many cool kind of possibilities. The Blender integrations are also cool one because Blender uses Python for scripting, making it possible you can literally write code that just takes stuff in Blender and just synchronizes into Resonite. So I think this opens a lot of kind of cool capabilities. In the Python wrapper, there's going to be a building block that can be used for building those. So definitely, if you like using Python, definitely give it a look. I'm gonna look if there's a few more things. Oh, this one actually cool. This one has some this has some screenshots. So there's no video, but there's some screenshots, and it looks really cool. So this is from Ashley website, from Kaiser Blades. I've been working on a port of PlayStation Home Harbor Studio for Mountain Resonite. Not a way done, but it's a long way visually from where it started. This looks really cool. I really like the different lighting settings. Oops, sorry, the camera.
Sorry, I was taking a peep.
Let's see, do we have a few more stuff? This one, I don't quite understand what this is, but it's just a Japanese symbol, and then it's in the screenshot as well, from Ser12U? I don't quite understand this one, but death.
That.
Death. I don't think I've seen this Japanese symbol before. Let's see, do we got a few more? I'm just kind of scrolling through things. Let me actually sort it by top ones, so you can see if I've missed any. They're like more recent. So we've got MMC, we've got a Python wrapper. These are almost the same ones. Oh, there's another cool one. This comes with a video. That is cool. So this is a post from someone called Vexglyph, and it looks like they like made a system for the avatar for like expressions. I'm gonna take a screenshot of it as well. So I'm gonna play the video. In the post, I really want to do the embed. Looks like they made a ear movement system that works for smile, frown, surprised. Very fun introduction to Flex to figure this out. That's pretty cool. So it looks like they were learning protoflex and used it to like, you know, puppeteer your avatar. There's definitely a cool way to learn protoflex is, you know, make your avatar more expressive. I kind of got a similar thing, you know, in mind. It's like if I smile, like my ears go up, my tail starts wagging. If I frown, I'll be like, they go down. And it's like one of those things that like I know Sarah has like a whole bunch of like cool stuff too with the ears.
It's just my ears that move. It's not super fancy.
Yeah. But it wasn't fancy, it adds extra character. Oh, and we got one from Rustybot, who's part of our like marketing team. Rustybot made a post. Let me bring that in. I'm gonna bring the video first so I can grab the screenshot while you watch. So Rustybot ordered a big screen and now they have eye tracking. And it looks like they actually recorded it with the in-game like camcorder. Come on, is this coming in? Ooh. So this is from Rustybot. A cool showcase of eye tracking in Resonite with the big screen headset. Let's see. I think maybe 8 for now. We've been actually like we could do like one more maybe. Oh, this one's an interesting one. This looks like a post for. Let me copy this first. So it says it's a post from someone called K Gullery, and it says a little hopecore online. I run online art workshops out of video games to encourage people to make more art IRL. To think about humanity, make more art. And it looks like they're doing like across various like platforms, including Resonite and VR chat. That's pretty cool. That's a very cool message. We definitely need more like that. Art is definitely like one of the kind of cool ways, you know, to kind of express yourself, express like your emotions, like feel them into something. I'm already doing that one. I could recognize some Resonite people too. Is it playing? Okay. Oop. And this is the post itself. Let's see, we've got a few more. I've got another one, featuring Decoy and Holly. It's another of the funny ones. I'm actually gonna give them following them. I'm gonna repost. So let's play this one.
Hey, what's going on? You scared me.
Yeah, it's one of those Resonite things.
Oh, they're dead.
I got harmonica there too. And this is the post itself from Fox, crownedhighlight.com. Ooh, and we got another eye-tracking one. This one's from a lizard guy. So I'm gonna bring this one in, and this might be the last one. Let's see if there's like more. So also another eye tracking one with like this good low poly avatar. And it says gave the evil creature eye tracking, and it looks like they're like recorded with an in-game like camcorder too. Which is kinda cool, like, you know, just posting it on. It has like its own vibe. Okay, I think we might end it here because we've been about it for half an hour or so. So let's go back to some more Discord questions. Not Discord, Twitch questions. And if we got some more time, we're gonna go through some more posts, but we're gonna go through a few more questions. But I hope like you like those in the community submissions. We wanna promote them more. I wanna add like a feature that's gonna be a relatively small one that's gonna make it easier to share these as well. But in general, we wanna do more to kind of showcase the cool stuff the community is doing, help promote like what do you do, you know, and hopefully also encourage people to post more, because posting about Resonite, sharing it, you know, with the wider world, that helps the platform. It helps showcase people, you know, what you can do on here, what kind of cool stuff is happening, and kind of bring more people, grow the community, and bring more support for the platform. So the next one, it's kind of related to, I think, to Jack's the post we showed about like the Python wrapper. Check the Fox author. I'm moving. Check the Fox author is asking question for the both of you. I already know Cyrus' answer. What's your opinion on Python? There's nothing but Python on my mind right now. Do you want to go first?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna maybe be a little grumpy about it. I've been hearing about it a lot recently, and there have been like a couple times where I've like said that I've had like problems about it, like in the Discord, for example, and like I get an immediate like response of like, wow, I love Python, it's such a great language, like explicitly in response to my dislike of it, and I really don't like that. And it's just kind of making me not want anything to do with the language anymore at all, if I'm honest. I hate to be a grumpy about it, but it's really starting to get to me, man.
That's fair. I was kind of gonna get a little bit. For me, like, usually like with languages like Python, I've used it a bit in the past. It's not like language I vibe with like the most, but the way I kind of like look at it is like, you know, languages like they're tools. So for the language itself, like I think it's like, you know, this something cool exists because the more tools there are, you know, the more different use cases can fit. Maybe like, you know, for some people like certain languages will work better, you know, because of the projects they're making or maybe how their brain works. So I think like it's cool in a way. Like it does it does things quite a bit differently from languages I use. For myself, like it's a little bit like I generally prefer like more kind of strongly typed languages, like, you know, C# is a good one, because languages like Python, they kind of feel more mushy, if that makes sense. And it kind of makes it harder to kind of scale to bigger projects, but I do like the aspects, you know, like there's like a lot of kind of cool syntax sugar to make like a lot of kind of scripted things like really nice to do. and having the ability to like having a lot of integrations with like tools for like stuff like image processing and research and stuff like that. That's also like a pretty cool aspect of it that kind of makes it interesting, even though like I don't quite use it. So there's like, to me, it's like interesting language. It is a tool. I don't use it as much. Like I kind of prefer to use like C# because that's something I vibe with better. But infinitely like there's always kind of like the kind of stance is like, even if there's languages I don't use, like it's good that ecosystem exists because it allows other projects to exist, and for people where it works really well, like it lets them create projects, and then maybe I will enjoy some of those projects. Another good example for me is like, for example, Java. I don't really use Java. There's a bunch of stuff I don't like about Java, but people make cool things, and like one of the cool things I like is Minecraft, and that's coded in Java, and people make mods in Java too. So whenever I see, for example, Java making improvements, it makes me happy because I'm like, well, that improves the tools for even if I don't benefit directly from those improvements, it I know it benefits people who do work with the language, and they can make cooler stuff, and then I get to enjoy some of the cooler stuff they make, and that's kind of my general kind of approach to things and languages. And there's also like I'm kind of excited, like being like there's like a Python wrapper now, so people like who really like Python, they can now interface with Resonite, and you can also take a lot of the Python ecosystem and tie it to Resonite. Like I was mentioning earlier, being able to like for example use Resonite for visualization for stuff from like a Jupyter notebook or like some other kind of research, and just pipe it into Resonite easily. Like I think that's gonna be huge. So even though I probably won't really use it much myself, I like like I'm glad like those things exist, and also we could a good thing Glitch likes Python.
That's great, man.
Next question's from the Ultra Wide Gamer. Loving the new Resonite link feature. I saw there is a feature to upload mesh data to Resonite. Is this working as yet? I have seen any examples of it being used in the wild. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's one of those things that kind of sort of started working on a whim a little bit, because like I was like, my brain was kind of fried, and I was like, I'm just gonna work on whatever my brain wants to work on. And it's kind of like helped like with the fryness in that regard. And but kind of like the other part is like like one thing I kind of want to do more with Resonite, especially like over this year, is do more things that kind of give more power to the community, because there's a lot of stuff we need to do, and I also like move things like like into the direction where it lets the community kind of help us with more things. So the render, for example, that's one of the things. Resonite link is like lets people make tools, and we want to kind of like sort of seed some good tooling, and then let community build on it, and then we can kind of focus on some other stuff. And it's also sort of like testing the waters a little bit, seeing like how will contributions work, how people kind of react to things, how are the dynamics of that gonna work. And I've been kind of like happy like seeing a lot of kind of excitement and people building tools and making cool things and suggestions and sort of helping us polish it. So but I'm kind of like going off a tangent right now. So for a question for the mesh, it like, to the best of my knowledge, it should work. Like when I implemented it, I did like bring very simple meshes like through it as a test. There might be bugs. So far nobody has reported them. I think it might be because meshes are a little bit more complex, so like there's a little bit more kind of involved, like versus like textures you can bring it, just give it a file, or you just give it like array of pixels and like have texture. Same with audio. I've already seen like Jack made it possible to generate audio clips with like with Resonite link. So that was pretty cool. Meshes I haven't seen yet. I was kind of hoping to see some at this point. If there's any bugs with it, like, please report them. I don't know if anybody's been working on, but like when I did test it, like it did work, but there might be edge cases where some things explode. So, but right now I'm not aware of them. Maybe it needs more like documentation because, like, meshes are a bit more complex. Next question is for Sarah. Modifier is asking, would you use desktop face tracking if it was available?
Certainly. I would like to be able to be expressive even though I'm in desktop, and I often find myself wanting to be able to, like, smile at my friends and stuff, but I don't want to have to set up a bunch of keybinds that I then have to interface with the face tracking to switch it when I'm in VR, and it's just I've needed a way to express myself better, and that would be nice.
I really want to like integrate one too, because when I'm on desktop, it's also like, I'm very like, I don't use keybinds, I just use, face tracking, like, and just do stuff kind of like naturally. I really want to get like something for desktop. Like there's an app I've been kind of working on, but like there was a bit of a drama around it, so like I kind of like stopped on that one, but I kind of want to finish it. But if there's like any like good libraries we could integrate into Resonite, so it's like it doesn't depend on on setting up third-party applications, they would actually kind of help. I know there's like one called like OpenCFace, but I was a little bit like looking into it, like it seems like it requires kind of sort of calibration process, and I wasn't kind of unsure how that works. But it's something I would like need to like look deeper into. I think it could be definitely cool, especially for desktop users. We got Yami DevTools asking, what's your opinion on pythons or snakes in general? I mean,
They're cool, man.
snakes are pretty cool. I mean, there's like some like you would wanna be careful around, like especially the venomous ones. And I don't know, is python like a constrictor snake? Like is it like one of those like that wraps around you and suffocates you?
I believe they can be.
Yeah, those also like admire them from afar. Next question's from Colin. Colin's asking, how do you think could something like a simulated rope chain connecting 2 points be directly supported in the game? Probably Beppo physics, I think. Like if you want like a physical kind of simulation, you can. I know what Sarah's bringing. You can like make your own simulation.
I know what they're asking. They're asking like, how could something like this be implemented in Resonite to be generically useful?
Like that. Oh, it's
well,
a
yeah,
frame.
I mean, like in Protoflex, but obviously it's quite hard in Protoflex.
Yeah, but you can do it. You can blick.
Yeah, but you can do a lot of things, but like, like how could this be implemented like by us, like I think is what they're asking.
I mean, it depends like what you want to do. If you want to be like fully integrated with the physics system, I would just say the Beppo physics, we add like support for rigid bodies, we add support for constraints, and then you set it up, and Beppo's just gonna, simulate it. If you wanted something that's like, very simple system, and there's an interface with other systems, like we could like potentially add like a component, with, for example, the dynamic bonds work, like something along those lines, but it depends what exactly you need. Tiff Hammer's asking, how is Molecule doing? I mean, it's not right now, like we're not working on it actively right now. We definitely like, want to prioritize it, but so many things. Resonite Appeals asking, I want to host events for the Polish community. Oh, this is like the question. Is there a specific process to get them featured on events.resonite.com? I'm actually not sure about that one myself. See, this is one of those questions. I recommend bring this one to the art team office hours. They should be every Wednesday. Check our Discord. They should be like where they're happening. I don't actually know what the exact process is right now because I haven't been handling that part. You might try also like on Pro Prime's office hours because Prime has been involved like getting some of it work, but I don't know if he's like involved with the process for featuring, but might be worth asking. He also might send you to the art team office hours. So ask there. I don't have an answer for you myself, unfortunately. Modify is asking, how is your experience going with Endeavour OS on your laptop? So for those who don't know, I've over the holidays I kind of like was like just doing some fun stuff, and I installed Endeavour OS on my laptop. Not for the first, well, technically installed it for the first time. I tried booting it before, but it kind of exploded before, and this was it actually worked this time, and I actually had like a lot of fun with it. I kind of just installed it and then played around and played a bunch of games and messed around, and it was kind of fun. I do want to see, I haven't literally done much with it since. I do want to see if I can get VR to work, because this is a big part for me, because I spend a lot of time in VR. So if I could be in Resonite in Linux, that might be kind of interesting. I kind of want to see if I can experience that a bit more, but I haven't really had the time yet. The biggest thing for me, to actually switching to it would be development, because I can't really right now I can't really do work on it because I don't have the development environment. I use Visual Studio. I would have to probably switch to either, but it is a paid software, so that switch would mean now I'm kind of locked in, paying for software to be able to work. So that kind of makes it a bit harder. There's also some kind of small things, like one thing that I found really weird is for example, getting Bluetooth to work is there's two toggles in the settings. I tried toggling both of them, none of them did anything. Apparently I had to type a command to sort of enable it, and then I can enable, and then I can enable it. I'm that's way more complicated than it really needs to be. Whatever the command I typed, I would expect the toggle to do that. If I click on the toggle to enable Bluetooth, that one was weird, and I have to Google and be why does Bluetooth not work? And you get it fixed, but it's the toggle should just do the thing. And then some other minor things, but generally things work pretty well. It's been kind of fun, messing with it. So yeah, it's been fun. I kind of want to do it a bit more.
Didn't some games run even a little bit better than on Windows?
Yeah, it kind of felt. I tried Doom Dark Ages. I played a bunch of that, and it felt like it ran quite better.
It's all being translated to Vulkan real time.
No, Vulkan. Doom Dark Ages uses Vulkan natively, so there's no translation.
Yes. Yeah.
It's also very optimized game in general, so I think Linux has at this point Linux has way better scheduler for processes too, because that's one of the things I want to try. I want to try running 3D reconstruction, but that's one of the things I really hate on Windows is Windows 7 had a pretty good scheduler. I could run, and it was with weaker PC, I could run 3D reconstruction that's eating all the CPU, eating all the GPU, and the system still would be responsive. I could do, some other light stuff on the system while it processes in the background. I think starting with Windows 8, I think they, I heard, they rewrote the scheduler, and it made it way worse. And it's and now, if I run that, my PC kind of becomes unusable. It just cannot, even the mouse cursor lags, and it's and the PC is way more powerful than it was back then, and it's somehow slower, and it's why? So I kind of want to see, if it behaves, a lot better on Linux. Because the software I use for 3D reconstruction does support Linux too, so I should be able to test that. It might be worth, doing it. I did get a bit scared because I only made a small partition for Linux, and then access my NTFS drives. And what's actually cool is I have my drives are encrypted with BitLocker, and I could just give it a password and it just works. I could just access the files. Even Steam actually just picked up. There's a Steam library on this NTFS drive. And it's just well, you can play those games now because they're already installed, so I don't have to install them twice. And that was really cool. But then I had somebody talk to me, they were you want to be careful because the NTFS drivers not much, it has issues and it can corrupt your system and it doesn't handle this well. And I got I'm oh no, and I'm spooked. And I'm but then some other people told me don't worry about it too much, and I'm
Yeah, I've literally been using the NTFS driver for actual years now, and I've never ever had Linux corrupt one of my NTFS drives. Like Windows maybe will want to run like a check disk like after Linux accesses it, but that's all I've ever had it do. I've never had it destroy any files ever.
I sort of everything backed up, so like it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it was also like enough to be like kind of spooked me a bit. One thing I do find a bit annoying, like I have to kind of figure out how to best address, is like this stem clock, because Linux always sets it to like UTC, and then I go back into Windows and the clock is wrong. So I don't know if there's like a good solution for that.
Oh yeah, you can set Windows to use UTC.
Okay, yeah, we'll just fix it. I don't want to put it on my main PC too. I kind of need to reinstall my main PC because it's gonna bog down. But yeah, like
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, you go ahead.
I was going to say that on the scheduler issue, I can attest to a cool scheduler I've been using recently, recommended by my friend Raid, called SCX Cosmos. Like I've literally been compiling like C++ programs in the background that have pinned all my cores, and Resonite's running at a solid 60 FPS.
Nice. Yeah, like whenever I compile, like everything just lags. It's like so bad. Like I don't know what Microsoft's doing, because like the Windows experience like just been getting worse and worse, and like it's pretty much like, you know, one of the reasons like I was like pushed to like, you know, install Linux, and I'm like, I'm gonna start like slowly trying it out and see if I can like, you know, have pathway to transition. So
Yeah.
we should also
take it at
probably
your own
move on
pace.
to next ones, because we've got
Yep.
40 minutes left and there's still quite a bit of questions.
Yep.
Next question's from Fowler. Any chance to add second or first party face tracking to Resonite? Like I mentioned earlier, I was actually adding one. I kind of want to finish it, but it's just a matter of kind of prioritization.
I want to just to add very quickly. I want to add a flag to enable to force enable Steam Link very soon.
We should
Because,
already have that, maybe. Don't we have that?
We do not actually.
Okay. It might
I
be
was
for
actually
a Serenapol, I think.
Yeah, we do have a certificate, Paul.
I got an interesting question from Deviros. Given the amount of time you spend in VR, how does it affect your identity and how you relate with the team? For instance, in your mind, is Sire a man or Fennec? So this is a really interesting question. Like, what I find like with VR is like I spend a lot of time with VR. Most of the time I interact with people is actually in VR. And it does definitely kind of change, like, you know, how you think about people. And I find like, you know, like it kind of does neither, because I kind of start like thinking about people more like, you know, their personalities. You know, this person, you know, has these values, this is how they behave, this is, you know, their vibe. And it kind of becomes what a person is, because even the same person, even Sarah, like, you know, use multiple avatars. Some people kind of stick with one avatar, you kind of like, you know, associate them with a bit, but also like, you know, when you see them IRL, and they kind of behave the same, which is one thing I find like super cool about VR, is like people's personalities are IRL are usually very similar to how they are in VR. And it's kind of, you know, like there's like a bit of like that, like when you meet somebody for the first time, like there's a little bit of like, you know, like, oh, like, you know, they look different, but then you're like, wait, this is just the same person, you know, just different avatar. So in my, you know, in my head, like it kind of people become more just, you know, their personalities, and like it just, you know, like however they happen to look at a time, it's just however happen to look at a time, you know, that's just the interface for, like, you know, that's used for their personality at the time, to interact with their personality, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom again?
Yes. I'm kind of concerned. I hope it's not a candy head.
No, it's fine.
Next question's from Sadendup. Is Headless ever able to use Resonite Link? Are they basically the host? That would be interesting for ideas. Yes. There's actually multiple ways to enable it too. You can enable it on the fly. There's like enable Resonite Link command that you can use. You can even give it a port to open it on. You can enable it through the you can also enable it through the configuration, you know, through your config. So like when you start a world, like you have a list of worlds that you want it to start, you can just be like enable a Resonite link, and you can also specify port. So it's definitely like, you know, one of the intended use cases, and definitely a lot of cool things you could do with that. I actually use it oftentimes for testing, so I don't have to launch, you know, graphical Resonite. I'll just run headless. I have like a script that just kind of configures it, like, you know, just runs Resonite link, and I can use it for quick like prototyping and testing. Next questions from computer user. Do you still have the 3D scan of American Pizza? If you do, is there any way I could get a copy? I wouldn't have use for it, but I thought it would be funny to have a copy. Yeah, I have it. I don't delete scans, so for a copy, I could publish it somewhere, or like if like you see me in game, I can give you one. I know a bunch of people like have it, so if you see me around, like, you know, we can poke me. I can give it to you or send it to you. Next question's from U1F98A. Does anyone know what the word Froox and Syro are in for this one? Looks cool. So this is the MMC. Actually, which year was this? I need to check. Give me a second. This is the MMC 2024 Kickoff Webcast Theater. Oops, that's the wrong one. The word orb. There we go. I'm gonna put it in the camera, and I have to move like this way so you can see it and I can hear me behind. I can actually just show you a little bit around. So let me move the camera here. This is a very cool world. It's like very, you know, 90s style kind of computer graphics, but 3D. This was used for launching the MMC 2024 event. So there was like the opening ceremony. There's also like, we actually kind of inside a computer. So you see like, and I actually had a role in this one too, like I was like sitting in this chair, and the whole event was, you know, taking place inside of this, like, you know, all the presenters. There's also super cool stuff. Like when MMC does their like opening and closing, you know, ceremonies, there's like a whole like staff of people, you know, there's like the actor, like Jason, he's like the acting everything, and there's a bunch of people in the you know, manning these like panels where you can control, like, you know, all the different stuff that happens. The whole thing like animates. There's like a lot of really cool things. There's like a presentation controller, audio. It's like a full-on like set, like production set, but in VR, you know, with people that are scattered across the world, and it's like very cool. You know, even just being able to like experience, you know, that kind of production in VR. But the world itself, like, has been published, so you can kind of, you know, check it out. It's very neat. I like, you know, how these are actually 3D, but like if you look close, you know, the graphics is dithered. Like actually, if I get the camera really close.
I actually helped. So this role was made by New Project, which is also part of a group that I'm in. I think this was before I was actually on the team.
Yes, I think so.
So I ended up helping with this one, and I helped. Camera. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I helped. Sorry. I helped Gareth create the wooden figures. I generated I can generate the wooden noise stuff in Blender.
Yeah. It is very cool. I recommend checking it out. And like having been part, like, you know, like having a role like in a production and just seeing how everyone works and how everyone kind of, you know, works together, and like it was one of the most like fun things. And I'm very excited for, like, you know, this year's one as well, which is starting next week. So, you know, again, if you missed it, the MMC is, like, you know, they're currently taking sponsorship. So if you want to sponsor the event, like, you know, please do. Like, it definitely deserves it. And also, like, you know, half of what you sponsor goes to the prize pool. Oh no, what was that? But yeah, it's a very exciting event. Like, check out the announcement on Discord. Check it out, like, in Blue Sky, other like media. Just search, like, you know, for MMC 2026, and you should be able to find it. I'm very excited what kind of word. I don't actually know, like, what word they're gonna have yet, so it's gonna be a little bit of a surprise. But their, like, level of production quality is always Amazing. Next question is from Caster Blades. Is there anywhere where the spherical harmonics values for ambient lighting is explained? I can tell first one is base color, since it's the color are tortured to remove bluish lighting in Harbor Home, but I couldn't figure out what everything else is. So we actually did a video on this one, so check out the YouTube channel, the YouTube clips. There's specifically a video clip on spherical harmonics where I can sort of like showcase, you know, how it works, to kind of give a better idea. One thing I'm gonna say, usually you don't want to edit them manually. Usually use algorithms to actually compute the values, because if you're familiar with some math, spherical harmonics they're kind of like a Fourier transform that's like wrapped around like a sphere. That's probably like the closest like kind of analogy. So like the base one, it's like, you know, just global value, but then like the actual other values, it's like amplitudes of like you know, waveforms around the sphere, and you sort of compose them to like, you know, create like create whatever like, you know, gradient like you want. And usually use algorithms to kind of compute those values. I don't recommend editing them manually. But check out that video. There's a lot of materials online. This is a pretty common technique used in like computer graphics. So if you search like, you know, spherical harmonics for graphics, for lighting, you should be able to find like a bunch of like resources like online. It's not like, you know, it's not specific to just Resonite. Oh no, we're getting getting schnoppetend. I don't know.
Go back to the normal schnoppets, please.
I don't know how to even interpret schnoppetend. Yay! I say we posted your video. Ooh, I mean we're posting the video. We'll probably showcase it next time. And we also got some more context from Caster Blades. Oh, there's a long one. Fun fact about Harbor Studio, just because it was shown, because I wanted to get lighting just right, since I was to emulate PlayStation 3 era lighting styles. Instead of ambient light, all the nighttime lighting are handpicked emission colors for every single material environment that gets toggled on a huge 57 driver long volume multi-driver when the sun goes down. I'm sure Froox enjoys bad ideas. His work has made possible, yes. I mean, if it works, if that's what you need to do, like the style, like, you know, do it. I'm kind of curious, like, how it's gonna look, like, you know, with that kind of style.
If there is a will, there is a way.
There's lots of ways. Might not be the best ways, but there's ways. And Modify Arc is asking, somebody was able to get desktop face tracking working with mods. It's the general questions forum on Discord if you want to check it out. Yeah, no, there've been like a bunch of like mods. It's more like just like getting it like, you know, working something officially. And something like we could also ideally be able to ship like the, you know, whatever library, because not everything like, you know, not every library, not every software we could like legally ship with the software, so you might need to like download independently. Ideally we want a solution that you can just turn on and it just works out of the box. The ultra-wide gamer, I would love to get simple example for Resonite mesh request. I have tried creating one already without much luck, and I have loved to test and bug report anything related to mesh uploading. Yeah, we might like make a GitHub request for a sample, and I'll see like we can like provide one. That way I don't forget about it. Alex Dupia is asking, I'm curious if we could count on the possibility of multi-window workflow in the future, such as creating separate windows containing specific tasks, for example, Inspector. Yes, that's one of the things actually planned for the expansions of the desktop mode. I do recommend checking the YouTube video on our plans for desktop on Resonance clips on our YouTube channel, because I actually go like a little bit more in depth, but that is definitely one of the things that we want to do, where you can, for example, take an Inspector window and you can just pin it. And you know it's gonna be pinned to your view, and you can still like, you know, it's gonna be like, you know, Unity or Blender, where you can kind of partition your workspace, and you can also pull windows and, you know, use your multiple screens. I'm kind of like half tempted to do it like, you know, now, because we could do it with Unity. It does have additional requirements for the render switch and additional implementation there. So I'm kind of like, you know, a bit torn on it, but it'll come at some point. Next one's from Modify Arc. What VS Code extensions are mandatory to have in your workflow for Resonite development? I don't use VS Code for Resonite development much, really. I only use it like to look at logs, but I use Visual Studio. I know Sarah used VS Code, but it kind of switched.
Yeah, I mean, I still do use VS Code just because like the Sublime text like LSP is still kind of like being worked on a little bit and doesn't support multiple diagnostic providers very well. But like mostly just the C# add-on and also configuration to turn off all of like the AI stuff because I really don't like that and I wish it would go away forever. That's really about it. I don't really use that much. I'm kind of a plain guy. Yeah.
Next questions. I think I kind of sped through these like too fast because we still got like 25 minutes left and we're kind of at the end. Yami Deft was asking, do you know about Mugenics and are you gonna buy it? I have no idea what it is.
No,
What is
don't know what that is.
Mugenics? I'm gonna Google it, but I'm concerned. Oh, it's a game? Oh. Eugenics on Steam. Well... Oh, it's can't be released. Oh. Interesting. I don't think it's a game I would play myself, but I know somebody who might, so interesting. And we got Satan Dub going meow, which is like a Czech or Slavic, like general Slavic, like way to write meow. The meowing meow 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 meow
Meow.
meow.
Moo.
What? Kind of moo.
I can say I'm a talking animal. I can say whatever I want.
What? No, but like it's not what you said. It's it isn't how.
Yeah.
Okay, that didn't work in my brain.
I don't think you can say anything at all, pal.
I was like, but do you know what you have? You have mood.
What?
You said moo, but do you know what you said with that moo?
I don't know. Do you know what I said? Because you apparently can't tell me.
I don't know. I was like when forget this. It's like someone like goes like like make an animal sound and like, what did you say about my mother? I was my brain was trying for that kind of joke, but it didn't work. Next questions from Kisserblades. It's important actually. I want to make balcony that you can lean over but can walk off. I've been looking at collider options, but didn't look there was anything before curse flux nonsense. Is there a simpler way, a pre-existing way to do this? No, this one's unfortunately a little bit tricky because like the collider's kind of like one thing, and it's one of those things I've been wanting to be like at least split it in two, so like you can kind of like lean and have a little bit more kind of complex, like better shape. So that's something I want to do, like on that's more on Resonite end to do that.
I do. There is a way to help the problem. In the actual like locomotion config, you can make the capsule collider a little bit thinner to like try and mitigate it a little bit.
That can help a bit.
You can do that. It's not going to fix it all the way, but you'll be able to lean a little further over the like towards the railing.
Yeah. But generally, yeah, like you we actually need to like do that on the Resonite side to like make those possible. I think there's a GitHub issue for it, so I put it that makes it a little bit easier to prioritize.
Yep.
And we've got all the questions now. Like, I was gonna like speed through questions, and then it's like too fast, and now we have a bunch of times left because I'm like, oh, we're getting like towards the end, and now it's like.
That's okay. I can wave the spinny thing at people.
Spinny thing. Oh yeah, this is. Oh, this spinny thing.
Ooh.
We can. Oh, we got correction. Modify R is asking correction to my previous question. What Visual Studio extensions are mandatory for a workflow? None. One that I kind of used like is like the T4 like syntax highlighting, but like problem with Visual Studio is like it's been getting super slow, and I'm like and usually it's like extensions, so I've been like kind of like avoid extensions, and it's still slow, so I'm kind of like one time like I installed like I forgot what it's called, the ReSharper, like the JetBrains like extension, but like it made it like way worse. So I'm kind of like, just kind of doing pretty much vanilla. And even then, like, I'm kind of thinking, switching to Rider, which would make it easier to switch to Linux too.
I have tested Rider, like just like on my own time, just like tested it out. They definitely do a lot to help like people coming from Visual Studio get integrated into their ecosystem, so it's very easy to go over.
Yeah, that's kind of the main thing, because like it supports like the Visual Studio Solution project, so like it would keep it compatible with that. It's just like it is like an additional cost now I have to kind of worry about like every month, and I'm sort of like locked in. And if I wanted to like move, like now it's like either a lot of effort for some other solution, piece something together, or switch back. It makes it a little bit more difficult. Dynamos is asking, what other ideas did you have on speeding up workflows in desktop other than partitioning panes, for example, editor camera control? I remember watching that video, like it's gonna like kind of went like through a bunch of like the details. Partitioning the workflow, I think partitioning like the workflow, like the panes, that's probably the biggest one, because you can like easily access, but there's also like a lot of just general kind of usability things. Like the way, like for example, gizmos behave, the way like you can interact, being able to like have like shortcuts, buttons, having like quick inventory access to tools, like stuff like that. There's probably like a bunch more that I'm kind of not remembering right now. Modify Arc is asking, how much do you have to pay Unity in order to use it for Resonite? I don't remember the exact number. It's over a few thousand per year. So it's like definitely noticeable. It's also like one of those things where like we're a bit like annoyed, because like we've been using Unity Plus, which has been like much cheaper, because we don't need any of the Unity Pro features. But then Unity was like, we're streamlining our subscription, and Plus is going away, and we have to upgrade to Pro, which goes from a few $100s to a few $1,000. So and it's streamlining, and we don't really get anything extra that like we need. So it's kind of like it feels like they're kind of like squeezing all the developers for extra money, because I think like a lot of people are leaving because Unity's pretty much been getting very initiatified, and I feel them kind of getting more and more aggressive with their things, and that's making more people leave, so they're doing what they can to like squeeze as much as they can from the people who are still kind of stuck with them. And I don't think it's gonna get any better, so we do definitely want to switch away from Unity completely, because like that's essentially gonna like eliminate that cost altogether. So that's all the questions. Again, we've still got like about 16-ish minutes left, so feel free to ask more questions. We might do more showcases from the Blue Sky. So let's see if I can get back.
If you want to impress me making a renderer, make a software renderer, because I like software renderers a lot.
Don't do it for the actual render, so like we're not gonna accept software renders.
Yeah, no. I mean, it would maybe be useful for like embedded, like not embedded, but like really low power systems. But no,
I would say it's
no, not
worse
even then.
because even the low power, like you, like it's gonna use way more
Serving?
resources and be very inefficient. I would almost say
It's
like
a
the
very
low
niche
power.
use case.
I would say like the low power ones, like you wanna use the GPU because even if it's like not
Yeah.
like, it's not like super powerful, like like it's still more efficient than doing it on a CPU, which is only gonna be low powered.
Yeah, I realized that like 2 seconds after I said it. But I mean, there's
It's
I guess like there's server use cases, but it is really niche. I just like software renders.
it's a fun toy, but I don't think like there's too many practical use cases.
The reward you get for it is my thumbs up.
We also got oh wait, this is not gonna work. I need to take a screenshot. So I'm going through some more posts. There's another one I'm gonna promote. This is a post from the Elysium. So for those of you who don't know, Elysium has like been very long term, like how long have they been around? They've been like years and years. It's a group like they've been essentially running like a bunch of sort of like card games and other sort of like I don't know what to call it.
It's like a sort of
like blackjack, poker, those kind of like things. They have like a really cool system where you have like you sort of like virtual kind of, I don't want to call it like it's not currency. It's like meaningless like score. It's gonna act like it's currency, but it's not actual money. But essentially, you can kind of sort of like. I'm trying to be like very careful because I don't want to say like it is not real gambling. It's sort of pretend gambling, which makes it legal and not gambling. So if you want like if you like those kinds of games, it's definitely worth checking out. Like they have like super cool systems. They put like so much work into it. It's very polished. You've got a bunch of dealers who like for example, I got dragged like into playing like blackjack like a few times. And it was like a lot of fun. They're like they're skilled at it. Like it's very 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 polished. And if you really like those games, like I think you're gonna like enjoy those. And they're usually open. I think like pretty much every day. Most of the days they kind of open, so check them out. They have a bunch of kind of bunch of people kind of working on it, bunch of people like doing the games. So I could definitely give them a look if you haven't.
Yeah, unlike like a real casino, you go kind of for like the atmosphere and the games and the fun and the people rather than the gambling. Like
you do have like they have a system where like for the like I'm not gonna call it points. For the points like you kind of get, you get certain amount every week, and then you can lose it all. But also you can like accumulate, and you can also like get various like perks in the world. Like you get like extra tools, you get like some badges and other things. So there's a lot of kind of fun stuff with that. But just to clarify, there's no way to win actual real money in this. So legally, like it is not like actual gambling, which is like very highly kind of regulated.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Can I go to the bathroom again?
What's happening?
I drank a Gatorade, okay?
Oh. Was it spoiled? Can Gatorade spoil?
It was purple.
There's like a go.
Okay.
I'm concerned. Ooh, there's another cool post. So there's some more Resonite link stuff. Let me bring the video. So seems someone with the name of YMN made an Elixir integration. So I don't know if this comes with audio. I don't think it does. Yeah, I don't think there's like audio to this one. I'm gonna also take a screenshot of this. There's a GitHub link as well. So they have made an Elixir integration, which is another cool thing. I'm like not really familiar with the Elixir language. I've like heard it a bunch of other times, but the main thing is like, you know, it's really cool having integration with a lot of different languages because it opens up, you know, more doors for people who use those languages. Let's see if I got some more things to showcase. I'm trying to pick up some. Oh, this one's I'm kind of confused by this one. Let me bring this in. So this is a post from EP42, and it's creating something called Google Balls, interactive virtual experience, which I don't really know what that is. Oh, where is it coming in? It's probably one of those like Google experiment thingies. Oh, where's the screenshot? It's not popping up. Did I not do it? Come on. There we go. So this is the post. So Epic Easton, they have made Google Balls unique VR virtual interactive experience. If you would like to surround yourself with Google Balls, copy and paste this link in Resonite. So you can open it in Resonite. Maybe we'll do a resonance from this one like next time. Let's check out the video. So it is a world you can visit. Oh my god, the chat is going Google Balls mention. Google Balls. Oh, there we go. It's Google Balls experience. Oh, and there's balls, and they're so colorful. I guess it's like a procedurally generated world. It actually has a kind of cool visual vibe to it. Google Balls. So check out the world, and maybe we'll pick it for the stream next time, so we can do resonance live from Google Balls. Oh, there's a bunch of protoflags. Oh, it's just generating them.
I return.
We're watching Google Balls.
Oh.
We might be streaming from those next time. I can't stop experiencing Google Balls.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we definitely need to do stream from those next time. Actually, looks kind of cool. I like the visual style of it. They had a minor part. Okay, so let's see. We got 7 minutes, so we got a few questions. So, what if I is asking TY Resonite renderer? Is it like text-based like render? Would it be like ASCII art, like rendering it like with that?
Yeah, terminal user interface render.
Ooh, you know what? Technically, sort of TY Resonite, like the Resonite link, because it comes with REPL, so you can interact with the scene. It's funny thing, but though I was like thinking it would be interesting having like, you know, some terminal like interface where your avatar's kind of puppeteer. It would be good for people who are like, you know, like blind, like, or severely like visually impaired, because they could like experience the world by, you know, typing, and then like, you know, for example, you could say what is in front of me, and it could just do a bunch of raycasts and be like, there's objects this and this. So it is like kind of jokey, but I think there's like some actual like applications.
Resonite text adventure.
Yeah. Next question's from Saidendab. How's the order of components of Oslo defined? Is there any way to change their order? So I think right now it's actually like it is not defined, like the order, like it's something you shouldn't depend on. If you do need to ensure certain order of things, then you need to use the update order, because it kind of globally determines how they update it. And there's like some systems which will kind of, if they like send events, they will, some of them should like sort it based on the update order. If there's like multiple of the same component or component interface on the same slot. But generally, the way the components are designed, it should be order independent. If everything is like, if a bunch of components that are all the same update order, then the relative order within them is not defined, and there's not like a way to access their order either on the on the slot. Computer user, Sire turned J into Gatorade. What have you done?
That was Jay's. That's you have to talk to Jay about that. Sorry.
I'm still better than turning you into Gatorade. Or the brown Gatorade.
I'm chocolate milk.
Oh, there we go. You're Yoo-hoo.
I'm a what?
The Yoo-hoo drink.
Why?
This is like a chocolate one.
I'm a bowl of Reese's Puffs.
Oh. That's okay, so don't love experiencing Google Balls. We'll see next time, because we might stream from there next time. Still have to experience it for ourselves.
Oh boy.
Are you looking forward to Google Balls?
Do I have to? Is it company mandated?
For legal questions, I can't answer that.
Oh shit.
Okay, let's see. We've got about 4 minutes left, or less than 4 minutes, so we can do a few quick questions if there's some, but no in-depth questions at this point. Let me see if there's any
What's the
more.
philosophy behind Resonite, starting from 2017 in full detail go now?
Oh my god. Ooh, there's a... Ooh. Computers, could I say another jokingly bad suggestion? Yeah, go ahead.
Don't ask to ask, just ask.
Worst thing will be like... We're not reading that. Modify arc. How is the asset Q rework going? It's kind of paused. I have it like partially done, but I kind of want to finish it up. But my brain kind of fried, so that kind of put pause to a bunch of things.
Broiled.
Satan was asking, have you tried brain reading tech? I have tried some. I've tried like the Evolve headset before. It's generally not good. Like it can give you like some basic kind of data, but like having to actually do something useful is kind of like hard. Like I was like trying to like train it to like like do like mental commands and stuff, and like it sort of works, but it only works after you train it, and then you stop like training, like, and then after a while you just you get a lot of false positives and you get a lot of false negatives, so it's like very kind of annoying to use. The most that I've really like used it for, like I see it like being used for, is like really just kind of basic kind of parameters. Like I haven't seen like one that would be like actually really useful for things. Even like I've tried using it for like stuff like face tracking, because it kind of has like what kind of detect when you're closing your eyes or you're grinning or baring your teeth. But even that, like it has so many false positives. Like literally I would like put it on and it would be like the eyes would be just randomly blinking, like and then they would actually close and they would open, and like it's been very unreliable. And some people said like they would like shave their head and like make sure to put like the gel or whatever to make it work better, but like that's too much of a commitment for that, and even then I don't know if it's gonna work too well. Next question is from Dynamos. What is a question? Well, we said no philosophical things.
Well,
I'm just gonna
what
say
is the question?
this.
You have to wait until the next episode because it's
No, no,
basically
no, no,
over.
no, 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 no. What is the question? This.
No, you have to give him suspense. We gotta have him. We gotta get him hooked for the next episode.
This.
Find out what this means next Resonite.
Yes.
Resonite Ball Z. We're gonna find all the Resonite balls in the next episode.
We'll go to Google Balls to find out. So my fire,
What is a mud?
what is a mud? It's like when you mix water with dirt and Noita.
I
Anyway,
know.
we're out of time. So
We're
thank
out
you.
of touch. We're out of time.
Out of touch. I don't have that installed.
Me either.
It kind of went out. The out of touch went out of fashion.
What?
Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for asking all the questions. Thank you, for supporting Resonite. For showcase whether it's like by making cool things, being part of the platform, or supporting us on Patreon or Stripe. If you're supporting us on on Patreon, we strongly suggest switching to Stripe. It's generally better integration, and also we get 10% more from the same money you put in, which means we can put it towards developing the platform. So thank you very much. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you actually, I don't know if it's going to happen next week, because there's going to be the MMC ceremony, and I don't know how it's going to work out time-wise, so see you next week, asterisk. Maybe not. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. I think it might work out because the MMC ceremony is earlier in the day. But might not happen. Or maybe we'll just do a delayed one or something. And let's see if we have anybody to raid. There was a streamer, but I don't know if they're still streaming, so let's see if anybody's currently streaming Resonite. Speaking of which, this is a perfect time to stream Resonite because we will raid you. Looks like it's only Creator Jam. So we're gonna send you over to there. So raid Creator Jam. Is it all together? It is, yes. Raid Creator Jam. Send it off. So thank you again, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week, maybe, asterisk. We'll see you at very least at the MC ceremony. Make sure to, this is actually a good thing, since we're sending it to Creator Jam, subscribe to them, because they will be streaming the MMC ceremony next week. So you do want to be subscribed to the channel, they do a lot of cool stuff. And tell Medra hi. Bye.
Bye. We good?
Stop stream.